Rockstar is going to cause the entire industry to implode, Sony's helping them, PlayStation's going to be the proving ground, and fellas, we're all test subjects getting released en masse like mice in a maze at this point. There's a lot to go over here. Let's first get into Sony is now getting into more hot water following the physical media debacle, as LevelUp.com reported here. Mexican lawmakers are now joining alongside the Netherlands and other countries to combat Sony's removal of physical media as well. Two federal representatives in Mexico have argued that Sony's removal of physical media is blatantly against the consumer laws in Mexico, claiming that the Mexican representatives demand that Sony be investigated for this sudden choice because it creates anti-competitive behavior, which, let's be real, it does. As it says here, Federal Representative Irais Reyes and Senator Luis Donaldo Colosio will file a complaint before Mexico's National Antitrust Commission. Reyes especially is evident here because he's been cutthroat in ensuring that companies and others do not destroy or control Mexican players or consumers, with other lawsuits too. Reyes is also known in Mexico, as you can see here, as the gamer representative and has actively pushed back against 8% taxes on digital platforms that were also being pushed by the Mexican government in 2025 even, as Reyes said here in this statement. If discs disappear, anyone who owns a PlayStation will no longer be able to choose where to buy their games and will be forced to purchase them exclusively through Sony's store. As it says there in the next part, it's also a threat to the freedom of choice that users should have, and again, following the current lawsuit that's in the Netherlands already, that's causing Sony to be pushed back with over $400 million on the line there. This is yet another country starting to push back as well, and that's great to see. Secondhand gaming, or the used market, is also really big in places like Mexico, as well as other places too, as one of the two federal men involved says here, that retailers will just be eliminated completely if this is allowed to exist the way that it's currently intended. As they say here, the customers in Mexico and beyond would not own the games they buy anymore, which is, yeah, 100% absolutely true. I mean, Reyes had more to say here. Sony would become both the referee and the player within its own ecosystem, and we know what can happen when a single company controls every part of the market. They also bring up, as you can see there, that going all digital is not realistic worldwide, as some places in the world still, like Mexico even, does not exactly have full access to high-speed internet the way other countries does, meaning this dramatically puts their consumers at another disadvantage. The lawsuit they are trying to form, as you can see, has two tenets that it sits on. One is the physical market would cease to exist, which is big in Mexico, and two, it would mean that companies have too much power and Sony, as well as whoever else, could push their laws onto whoever they please. So the reason why I bring this up in this video first is to show you that one, more countries are coming to swing at the bat, but also two, that this now sets the stage perfectly for how everything else in this video is about to go down. Because taking what Mexico's new boycott lawsuit in the making is doing, Grand Theft Auto 6 with Rockstar and Sony is also another huge splash that is looking to echo exactly what the Mexican federal workers are also pushing against currently. As Polygon puts it here, GTA 6 is shaping up to be a disaster for retailers, and that's kind of underselling the word disaster, to be fair. This is more like a thermonuclear bomb being dropped, and there's really nothing anyone can do to stop it now. Polygon links a Reddit post from r/GameStop where people who work at GameStop or are physical media enthusiasts who frequent for deals and promotions and the like. Anyways, this post, as you can see, from almost 20 days ago and was kind of the beginning of the end for everything. As seen here too, where someone on r/GameStop just said, this might actually be the end of GameStop, citing how GTA 6 will be a code in a box with no actual physical edition, go figure. Remember how we thought this was only going to be a Rockstar thing and not a Sony thing? To be so blissfully unaware just 2 weeks ago even, compared to where we are now, guys. As seen here, various GameStop employees and fans chimed in, saying that they're not fans of digital and codes in a box is a bad idea. Well, knowing what we know now, yeah, it didn't go over well now, did it? But that's the thing, right? GTA can get away with this because they're effectively dangling the only source of water in a desert that everyone's depending on. Rockstar could, if they wanted to, demand a vial of every player's blood to be sent in the mail just to get a code for GTA 6. And I guarantee you that unironically, people would justify it like, bro, it's just your blood, man. Don't you want to play GTA Online with the homies? I mean, human nature is weird like that, I know. But Rockstar thinks that we're kind of stupid, right? And so far, it seems like, yeah, they're going to get away with it. Like they're bandits running off into the sunset. At least Rockstar didn't announce a collector's edition of GTA 6. Well, yet anyways. I mean, there's the $80 version of of the game, which everyone is looking at as the light version or broke boy version, if you will, because you don't get all the cosmetics and the car unlocks. In reality, the $100 Ultimate Edition, that's the real game. And players will probably look down at others who can't afford the cosmetic upgrades like their lords in Game of Thrones, just peering at the peasants beneath them. But surprisingly, there's no collector's edition version, since GTA 5 did have that, which by the way cost about twice the price of GTA 5 normally at release. Maybe Rockstar just doesn't care to do it because they know the entire planet is going to screech to a halt once their new game releases anyways. One former GameStop employee on their subreddit chimed in claiming the absolute state of where the industry is going, especially with GTA 6, that it's not only going to jeopardize all brick and mortar stores, but the release of GTA 6 prior to its launch will also cause people to lose hours at their jobs too. As they said it here, GameStop isn't a retail job, it's a sales job. Employees get tracked on sales performance, no things like the membership or warranties. That particular employee likely had to have had very low or bad numbers in warranty sales to feel that he had to pay for your just to get a boost from the day ended. I should probably add this is all connected to a post where an employee was literally paying the difference for a customer in order to get the sales, if you will, so it looked good for them. But anyways, I'll keep going. Management, depending on location, can be very aggressive in pursuing sales goals, and employees can actually see hour reduction loss if they don't perform well. So that's why this employee that they're referring to was paying the difference for someone just so they would keep their job pretty much, right? Like, oh great. So not only is a digital future cooking player choice, it's also going to cost hardworking employees now to lose their hours that they desperately need to pay rent and buy food. Like, thanks Rockstar. Very cool. The reason GTA 6 is going to be such a sales disaster is pretty simple. All of these companies who depend on big releases are going to think, well, if this is the biggest game of all time, then we better have the biggest sales numbers to match it. But since Rockstar and Sony cooked everybody with digital codes and boxes at best, it's leading to a lot of people refusing to buy the game at stores now. Instead, they're just buying it on the digital storefront. Which, by the way, that's what they want to happen, right? Because if GTA 6 is sold at, let's say, GameStop, Rockstar now has to share part of their sale with not only Sony or Xbox, but also GameStop obviously too. Whereas if they sell it strictly on the PSN store, it's just Sony and Rockstar. Honestly, I'm surprised Rockstar doesn't somehow launch their games in their own launcher on, say, PC at least. They could probably get away with that and retain 100% of their profits if they did it that way. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud because someone at Rockstar or Take-Two might hear me and go, wait a minute, he's right. But if that happens, my bad. But I wouldn't put it past anybody when it comes to anything anymore these days. As Polygon shared here, some of the horror stories from GameStop employees range from getting only 5 pre-orders of GTA 6 instead of the 500 they needed. Or another saying their goal is 200 pre-orders for the store and they only managed 11 so far because again, it's a code in a box. It's not physical. Polygon shared another GameStop employee's horror story like this one. Every customer I had today walked away when I informed them it was a download code and no Ultimate Edition. Yeah, I believe it. Sony obviously has been getting flagged and raked over the fires for what they've been doing too, and personally, it might just get worse. Obviously, Sony has their own major problem to deal with besides digital games and RAM chips being so expensive, but the consoles that they're making are becoming quickly unaffordable, yet they're still selling. And some may think that should be fine, right? Well, no, actually, a senior from the game business, major retailers are actually panicking right now because there simply just isn't enough consoles that are being made to meet the demand of what these retailers need specifically for GTA 6's launch. The problem here is that the current consoles, PlayStations mostly, are being sold out despite being more expensive. But the closer we get to GTA 6's launch, which is pretty soon actually, the PS5 console will become like gold for scalpers to sell due to hype and demand, and they'll be even more expensive, dude. As the game business says here with a senior games buyer that they interviewed, we've been informed that because of the ongoing issues around hardware component availability, we won't be getting the units we want ahead of GTA. Demand will likely outstrip supply during the year-end period. So this is great for Sony and Rockstar. Their consoles are selling despite the RAM apocalypse and all of that. But for anyone not named Sony, this is really bad because it means that people are being forced to pay more to play GTA 6, and there's practically zero other options out there to combat this. I would imagine the same will happen with Xbox consoles too. They will also sell out prior to GTA 6's launch. But again, the fact that GameStop employees are now yelling into the void that their job hours are being cut and their sales targets aren't being met. And they're having to pay the difference for customers just to meet whatever arbitrary target their managers want them to hit for the company. This puts a lot of ordinary people in a very dire situation that is not of their own making. It's really not fair. And that is the real cost of this sort of platform push, right? Sony wanted to retain more money by cutting out the middlemen like the GameStops. But it is absolutely 100%, it cannot be denied that this is also limiting your choices as a consumer as well. The messed up part is there's nothing anybody can reasonably do to stop it now. I know I've seen people on Twitter say, well, if we just don't buy GTA 6 or PS5s or PS6s, that will fix things. I mean, yes, you're right in a sense, but it's like statistically impossible for that to become the outcome here. Because for every one player out there who plays a variety of games and has the informed knowledge on games like the people watching this video right now, there's probably another 100 other players out there who just play gun and ball games that will be there day one no matter what the price is. Again, need to remind you how well Black Ops 1 and 2 sold as re-releases with zero visual enhancements on PS4 and 5 recently to prove my point. Unfortunately, again, I'm not happy about this either, but I have to be realistic. No one is going to be able to boycott Rockstar and GTA 6 effectively when this thing comes out. They are an Avengers level threat, and we are all just helpless to stop it now. How do I know? Well, it's already happened, apparently, as Game Rant reported here. According to rumors, GTA 6 has already sold, if you can believe it, $1 billion in pre-order sales in its first hour of being available to be pre-ordered. Who knows what it's at now? Now, Game Rant couldn't verify this because it's a rumor, but other sites and such are also reporting the same thing. The general idea, though, is, yeah, GTA 6 in pre-orders already hit $1 billion in revenue. This means that roughly GTA 6's pre-orders have hit somewhere near 12.5 million copies already sold prior to release, which is that $1 billion in revenue already. The game's projected budget is somewhere to be in the $2 billion mark, so if this all ends up being true, they're well on their way to profitability already. For comparison, GTA 5 took 3 days to hit $1 billion in revenue when it first released, so the fact that GTA 6 did what its previous game did in a single hour instead of 72 hours of them is, well, you already know, man, that's knucking futz beyond any belief. As Game Rant puts it here, this milestone shows the consumer trust in Rockstar products are at a level any other developer or publisher could really only dream of. These numbers are downright absurd. GTA 6 is making Call of Duty numbers, but in a single hour. Imagine once it actually releases and people can really play it. I guarantee you the PlayStation Store as an online service is going to crash due to just how many people are going to be trying to process payments to buy the game and then download it too. Amidst all of this, Take-Two's stock rose 3%, which honestly, I thought it would be higher, all things considered, but every inch matters, or at least that's what I tell myself. Game Rant also referred to Palumba, which was a source of this supposed $1 billion in 1 hour rumor, where they said, as I highlighted here, that this insane surge in sales is a boon to Rockstar because it tells them how much they need to manufacture, both physically for demand and how much they need to spend to upgrade their servers even too. Either way, they basically made Elden Ring money in a single hour, and this means whatever Rockstar and Sony are pushing on players, they're gonna let it happen no matter what at this point. But there's another argument being made that the removal of physical media in GTA 6's case and PlayStation as well is actually a good thing. As GTA Boom's article here is all about, that GTA 6 might be the test case to destroy physical games media forever. The argument given, as I highlighted here, is that unlike Blu-rays or vinyl, which play the media that is on them once you insert them into a machine that plays them, video games, even when physical, tends to have things that still don't allow them to be played regardless. For example, games might not even have the full game on disc, but the disc allows the game to be downloaded from the digital store. Or in Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync's case recently, as seen here from WindowsCentral.com, where Ubisoft's servers went down for a second and players, despite having the physical disc in their consoles or even digitally on Steam, they were not able to play Black Flag because the game could not authenticate itself via Ubisoft's servers, despite being a single-player game with no actual online online modes, besides the Ubisoft Connect functionality. But this is what I mean, because what do you mean that Black Flag's remake is unplayable because of a server error? I thought the game was on the disc. Well, yes, but well, not really. Because all it takes is a problem like server instability to reduce your game that you bought to being nothing but a license that you can't access now. So when you look at it through the way that GTABoom.com is referring to here, technically they're right. Games, unlike Blu-ray movies or vinyls or music, are not really the same at all. You don't need an internet authentication to watch some movie if you own the Blu-ray physically, but for games, you do. When you look at each form of entertainment side by side with how you can access them as seen here, it quickly becomes obvious that games, unlike movies, books, or even music, are the only one that are beholden to things that are currently out of customer control. Even books, which exist on, say, Kindle or some other website, are still usable if you just buy the book physically to put them on your shelf. This is a big reason why Blu-ray movies sell the way that they do still, because when a show or movie is beholden to a subscription service, say Netflix or Disney Plus, those products can just leave forever, and you have no way of accessing it anymore. It happened with Willow. Remember the Batgirl movie even that never came out? Same thing too. Here's another handy image that it easily shows how Sony and more have done what they've done. They own the rights, there's no resale market with digital, and nothing like retailer cuts or manufacturing costs involved either. The company makes more money, and in GTA 6's case, Rockstar gets to keep more of every copy sold by just doing this too. As IXBT.game showed here, a French presidential candidate named Jean-Luc Mélenchon has made it one of his missions also to fight against companies like Sony and more when it comes to game ownership, because he views it as a terrible precedent being set, as Jean-Luc said here in response to Sony and Rockstar. Given that GTA 6 will be sold without a disc, and Sony has announced the cessation of physical game sales from 2028, we must ask ourselves how we treat such products. In the future, you will pay for something you will never own, without the ability to lend, resell, or guarantee the preservation of what you paid for. Video games are not an ordinary commodity, they are a cultural good, and current law must protect them. In 2027, we will begin work on this issue. Gamers also have rights. Like I showed you at the beginning of this video with the Mexican lawmakers, the French are also now bringing the heat coming into 2027. So this is a battle that will continue long into the future because, well, it's worth fighting. GTA 6 will, however, be a disaster for retailers, and I think the goal here is to remove the entire secondhand market on purpose. I think trying to convince Rockstar to go digital now is really never going to work, but Sony, on the other hand, is a big company that relies on many more games instead of just one in order to keep going, obviously. And I think while Rockstar's next game will be a terrible place to try to boycott because it just can't happen given what it is, I mean, it's Grand Theft Auto for crying out loud, the damage people might be trying to do can be found elsewhere with the many other games they'll be releasing in the near future and beyond on PlayStation instead. However, in the European Union, one politician believes there's nothing that anyone can do to stop Sony or any other company from actualizing their future. As GTA Boom reported here, Michael McGrath, the European Union Commissioner on Consumer Protection, as I highlighted here, flat out told reporters he could not stop Sony or really anyone else as long as they operate within the current laws. Infamously, though, the EU has forced companies like Apple in the past to adhere to their consumer protection laws, but Sony currently, well, they're getting away with everything right now. As GTA Boom says it here, when the European Union forced Apple to open up, it was targeting the anti-competitive behavior of a company using its dominance to lock out rivals. Choosing to stop making a physical product is different. There is no law that requires a manufacturer to continue producing something in a format it wants to retire. The EU is essentially saying that dropping discs is Sony's call. The best that the EU can do to stop Sony and Rockstar, as it says here, is to enact laws that allow for games that lose support to have them be still playable in case those games get shut down in the future, which is obviously the whole stop destroying games thing that we all know very well already. But for this particular gotcha, everyone is currently at the mercy of Sony and Rockstar, and the nightmare will continue because no one can currently challenge them. And once Rockstar releases GTA 6 on Steam, probably a year from now, the same is probably going to happen too. They're not going to change anything. Rockstar nor Sony cares that they're effectively destroying ownership because in their eyes, every other company, no matter who they are really, is doing the same to some capacity anyways. Chief Strategy Officer Matthew Ball, as seen here from the games business, said that the demand for consoles currently exceeds supply even for Xbox. And Microsoft even is trying to meet demand as fast as possibly too. All of this because of, yes, GTA 6. But as As Matthew Ball says there at the bottom, he believes that GTA 6 will actually reinvigorate many players to keep playing video games. But if the absolute state of modern gaming is effectively hinging on one single game performing well, this is beyond putting all your eggs in one basket, guys. It's lunacy. It's pretty much a spirit bomb at this point. And you need to remember too, once GTA 6 comes out, and sure, it's gonna look amazing, probably run well, it's gonna have all the bells and whistles, what then? Why would anyone buy any other game once they have their golden goose in their hands, right? Most people who went out to buy a PlayStation or an Xbox to play this game are not going to buy other games. We already know from reports that people tend to buy 1 or 2 games new a year, max on average. So these people who cleaned out stock to play GTA day one will just be playing GTA, and that's pretty much it. And not only that, think of the ramifications of that price. If someone buys GTA 6 for the $80 or $100 price point, imagine how that will perceive how these customers will look at other games' prices now too. Any game that tries to offer their experience for a similar price like Rockstar's latest is going to be inevitably compared against what GTA 6 offers. So if some game comes out that isn't as graphically impressive or whatever else and tries to charge you for it, many people will go, well, I'm not buying that. Why would I buy this game or that one when GTA 6 gave me all of what it has for $80? If anything, the release of GTA 6 will cause people to become, honestly, even more stingy than before. Because how is every company going to challenge the cost versus content scope of the latest thing that Rockstar made? They can't. That's the point. Which is why I think this is all a big mess for everybody involved, because they're settling up an impossible future that they really can't sustain. Because then what? If people aren't willing to pay $80 for whichever new game, what will happen next? Oh, right. The game companies will then think we need to make GTA quality experiences, and when they can't, in order to get people to justify the price tag now to buy day one. So ultimately, games will become more expensive to buy, and they will take even longer than they already do to make. And then, if those games come out thinking they can now justify their price points after, let's say, 5 years of development time, and then they flop anyways, well, what then happens? Never mind GTA 6 rising all tides for all the boats, the ships are gonna sink and be crushed by their own pressure. That's what's going to happen. In the end here, it's about an entire industry that's betting its future on one game, while quietly pushing everyone towards a future where ownership matters less than ever. And if that gamble pays off, gaming may never go back to what it once was ever again, guys. Think about how unusual the situation really is. When was the last time one game carried this much weight when it released? Publishers have shifted release windows to avoid launching near GTA 6. Investors that are constantly asking about it during earning calls, and they're not even at Take-Two. Analysts are building revenue forecasts around this thing. There's entire companies that are hoping that Rockstar delivers because the success of GTA 6 will not just benefit Take-Two. It could also boost confidence across the entire AAA marketplace. Do you realize what that means? It means that's how fragile things have become now. One game is expected to help justify years of escalating budgets and layoffs and studio closures, financial uncertainty even too. It's not even confidence, guys, okay? That's dependence. And when GTA 6 makes the road to digital obvious, everyone will do it. Not because Rockstar told the other companies what to do, but because success gets copied. That's how trends begin, guys. We all know this. History shows this pattern over and over. One company finds a profitable strategy, everything else follows. Whatever generates recurring revenue the most, that tends to spread the quickest. That's why GTA 6 matters beyond just Rockstar. If it proves that consumers are willing to embrace digital alongside higher priced editions like GTA is clearly doing, executives everywhere are going to be paying attention to this. They're going to be watching it like a hawk, dude, okay? The concern isn't Rockstar's success itself, really. It's how the rest of this industry will respond to it. This is what worries me the most, okay? If GTA 6 becomes the biggest commercial success in gaming history, which, who are we honestly kidding? It's GTA, come on now. The lesson that executives may take away isn't going to be, we should make better games. No, it's going to be just expand the premium editions, double down on monetization slop instead. Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be one of the biggest releases gaming has ever seen, right? If not the biggest. It may redefine open world games. It may set new commercial standards, but its influence will extend way beyond just its gameplay, because the entire AAA industry is watching, man. They need it to work because publishers are going to want it to do well, investors want it to do well, platform holders are watching desperately too. Not just to see whether GTA 6 succeeds, they know that it will, but they want to see which business strategies are going to prove successful in the future so they can copy that. Because history has shown us that when one company discovers a profitable profitable model. Think PUBG, Fortnite, Minecraft, Pokemon, you name it, even Roblox even. The rest of this industry rarely waits long to follow that, and that may end up being GTA 6's biggest legacy in the end. It's not simply changing how games are made now, but it's now changing how games are sold and how they're owned too. It's a disaster either way in the making. God help us all when this behemoth drops on everything like an atom bomb, okay? But once the fallout ensues, either two things are going to happen. The industry will change for the better, or the industry will not learn a single thing and keep making the wrong decisions even more. Either way, it's going to be interesting. Let me know what you think. Sony's getting pushed back, thankfully, but Rockstar is a beast that is unstoppable at this point. Subscribe if you'd like to. I'll see you guys in the next one, and while this is all going crazy, just get ready, guys. It's about to get even more nuts.